What you're about to witness is possibly the biggest financial mistake in poker history. We're at the final table of the PSPC $25,000 Players Championship with a whopping $4 million for first. Let's go ahead and get into the action and see what happens.
No, now he's a multi-millionaire again. He's the Chad is back.
So first, let's go ahead and just talk about the audience and how they're engaging with Nacho. Nacho, being a really nice guy and a showman, as you can see, is engaging with the audience. But what he misses is an under the gun raise to 500,000, a min raise.
I'm so tired of Germany, bro. I was so happy when you guys were out of the World Cup. I say, please, I don't want to play Germany ever again. Ever again. 4 World Cups in a row, you guys take us out. 4.
Nacho still hasn't looked to his left, so he actually doesn't know that the under the gun has raised.
Yeah. I was there on the finals.
Yeah, this is a close spot, by the way, versus Under the Gun Open. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tum win this. This is a genuine decision. This is not talk about that.
As Sam Crafton, a very talented player himself, says, yeah, pocket aces is in a really, really difficult spot, having 15 big blinds or whatever. With ICM, it is very reasonable to go ahead and fold, as the under the gun player should be playing a little bit tighter since Nacho is in the small blind.
Yeah, very nice fold from.
Now we can see here there is a player in between under the gun and Nacho. The guy that he is directly looking at is the big blind, and Nacho is only focused on the big blind.
What's obviously a strong online player, a streamer and entertainer, but really nice fold there, recognizing the strength of the opening range.
Once Nacho realizes he only has 20 big blinds, he goes ahead and does the 9 high like a boss and rips it on in. To be fair, with ICM and a couple short stacks at the table, shoving 9-3 suited here is completely reasonable and will make money in the long run. However, he still doesn't know under the gun has raised.
The pocket eights, don't play particularly well.
For sure. What's happened here?
Nacho goes ahead and mucks his cards because he thinks he stole the big blind.
No, I raised.
And
Nacho
then
just shoved
has now gotten the
raise,
bad news. As we can see by Nacho's face, this is an absolutely terrible spot to be in if you're him. He did not see that the under the gun player min raised and now has committed 25% of his chips in play, which could easily be worth 7 figures. I mean, this is a crucial mistake. Now, obviously, there's no way to play it off as, how can you? You're kind of sitting back. You're kind of deflated. You already went to muck your cards. You showed no strength at all in this hand, and it gets back to under the gun, and under the gun is actually faced with a somewhat interesting decision. However, with all the info that he has gathered by Nacho's face and his demeanor,
oh my God, he wasn't paying attention because he was chirping at the rail. This is a huge spot for Shilko. Put in 5 million. I mean, he has to shove here. He has to be aware this isn't an angle. This is just so disastrous.
So basically, Nacho, because he was talking soccer, missed Shilko's open from under the gun.
Yes.
Thought he was shoving on the big blind.
So under the gun does actually end up shoving, and this is really a very interesting spot, because what happens if Nacho shoves? What do you do with pocket jacks here? Now I'd have to actually run the sim, but I think we would probably have to go with it because Nacho's going to be shoving Blimer's blind so wide, and getting a full double up here is, that's just like GG. You can basically just run over the entire table. This is why Nacho's situation of losing 25% of his chips is so huge, because the potential EV loss here and giving chip lead to the player 2 to your left is really bad. What ends up happening here is when the player to your left has chip lead, now you have to play much tighter, whereas if you were chip lead, you could start to raise, most hands, start putting a lot of ICM pressure on the, second and third place players, and so on. However, when under the gun shoves and it's only 8 million more to call, you're most certainly not calling with 9 high.
And he's done it. He's all in here, and he can't call for another 8. This is a massive error.
And look, this has happened to me several times. Of course, not on this stage. This is a massive mistake. I've actually never seen this big of a financial mistake in poker before, and I've been in the game for 13 years. But this does happen, and this is why it's so crucial to pay attention. When there's a player in between you, sometimes you don't see the raise. I've definitely done that a bunch of times, especially in the 1 and 9 seat when the dealer's in front of you a little bit. This is, I've made this mistake plenty of times. This is a tough one. I mean, this is a tough one. Nacho did end up coming ultimately in 4th place for 1.5 million, which is, I believe, his career high score. And he did, he overall put on a true show and took the beat rather well. Even though this is a human error, which is extremely unfortunate for him. But what a hand.